Let me share my screen for you guys.
Okay. We need 2 cameras.
There we go. Okay, so Gwen and Debbie asked us to sort of provide an overview of the ILEAD USA pages, and I just wanted to show you kind of from the beginning how to get there. If you go to webjunction.org/partners/Illinois, you'll see the Illinois homepage. From there, you can just go straight to programs. And scroll down, and you'll see we have 2 things on this page that I kind of wanted to highlight here. On the ongoing programs, you'll find the links to ILEAD USA. And if you're looking for the ILEAD U pages from the previous 2 years, you can access that here on the right, okay? And Leslie, feel free to jump in when I get lost.
Yes,
okay?
I will.
So the way we set up the ILEAD US pages, we set up an overview page that kind of talks about the project itself. And it's simply just ILEAD USA. And the picture takes a long time to load.
Oh, your screen went away, Gina. Oh. Gina, are you still there?
Okay.
I think we might have lost her, but it still shows her name.
Yeah. Okay.
Why?
Oh, there, I hear you now.
I'm still here. This is what it did to me yesterday when I was trying to watch the webinar yesterday. Here.
There, you're
Leslie,
back.
I'm going to bump you. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm not really sure why.
You can take
Okay.
us on host if you want. Katie, are you still there?
Still here.
Okay.
Okay.
You can take us out of host, Gina, if you want.
Okay, I'll try that. I don't think it should make a difference, but
Just in
we'll
case.
see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that, but you guys can still see my screen? No, you can't.
No, yeah, there we go.
Okay. And you can see me now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, you're hovering over Iowa.
Perfect. Okay, so again with the ILEAD USA pages, we have the overview page and then all of your state pages. And we've tried to keep this very uniform. So anywhere on the site, you'll see kind of these boxes. It changes based on your state because these become your team, okay? So because we're dealing mainly with Ohio, I'll just go ahead and go into the Ohio pages, all right?
Now, can I make a comment? This is Debbie in Illinois. When we tried to do this in our Adobe room yesterday, we couldn't go into the individual state pages and have it show on Adobe Connect. Is that maybe a firewall here at the state library that we're having problems with?
I'm honestly not for sure. Can you view the state pages from your desktop in your office?
Yes,
Okay.
but not when we go into Adobe Connect and do like you did just now.
No, I mean, if you can view it on your desktop, I think you should still be able to do it through Adobe Connect.
Okay, we'll ask our IT guy. Excuse me.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. So you'll see the ILEAD USA pages for Ohio. Katie and Ashley, I think you've probably seen your own pages, right?
Yes, sorry.
Okay. Yeah. And we do have The be part of the team form has been set up on all the pages, I think, right, Leslie? Okay.
Yes, and actually, Global worked on it a little bit yesterday to make it prettier, so you might notice it looks a little different, but it looks nicer, so we're very glad for that.
Yeah, they do a really great job on these. And you'll see all the application materials are here on the right. Your team button. Yeah.
So at this point, if we wanted to click and look at one of the applications, could we do that now or not?
Can you click on the instructor application, please?
Sure. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed for good. I have been having some problems, and some people have been emailing in with some problems. We've been getting that error or a 404 error, and it's only sometimes, which is why I haven't said anything, because it's not consistent. There's no pattern I can figure out, but sometimes we get a 404, and sometimes it works.
Well, it looks like we received another error message again.
Right.
I'm freezing. I do. Like, oh, you can go. I'll listen. Or go get a cup of coffee.
I'm just making a note. Let me try one of the other applications. I know I've
Most of the other links work.
Okay.
And like I said, the instructor application link does work sometimes. I've literally had it where I've gone to it, I've gotten a 404, I hit the back and I come back into it and it works. So, and like I said, that's why I didn't say anything, because it's not consistent, but
We'll still double check on it though, because it might have something to do with like the path or the hyperlink within our content management system. And we'll give you guys our email, I think later in the presentation, but you can, I think you might already have it too, because I may have already emailed you once, Katie. But you can always email us with that stuff too, and we'll try to troubleshoot and figure it out.
Okay, great, thank you.
I'm going to go ahead and put that in here so we don't forget.
Yeah, it's a good idea to list the questions.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. That's the email address that you can send us the documents directly, and sometimes that's a little easier. I don't think we've had any problems with the documents that we've submitted kind of that way, but I'll explain here in a second. Okay. Do you have any other questions about this page?
I don't think so.
Okay. Debbie, did you want to comment on anything before I talk about the submitted document?
No, that's fine.
Okay. There are two ways that you can send us material to have posted to your site, well, to your page. You can go up here to the submitted document link, and it just gives you a very quick form that you can fill out. If you send it in this way, sometimes we've been having problems with getting the URL to match up correctly, which is kind of what Leslie was talking about earlier. So if you want to bypass that and just email us directly at the ILEADUSA@illinoisheartland.org, we can. It's easier. It's actually easier for us to get documents up that way. But it's just preference.
And Gwen and I talked about this. We don't need to go ahead and be looking at each document that the states are submitting. Katie and Ashley, you can go ahead and use this direct email to submit your documents. It might be a little easier for you. Is that okay, Katie?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Ashley too, sorry. Okay.
And all we ask for in the future, if you do decide to email us, if you can just include your state, and then the body of the email kind of point us to where that document needs to go. Okay?
So yeah, if in your subject line you can just put the name of your state and maybe what the document is, and then in the body just say, if it doesn't seem clear, where you want it to show up. If you want it to show up under the Documents tab, or if it was an application, or something like that.
That sounds a lot easier than the document upload, which got very time consuming.
Yeah, we've just noticed that there seem to be some kinks with the submit a document link as opposed to if you email it to us, we can just upload it ourselves, and it seems to take out some of the kinks that sometimes happen.
Right. Ashley, do you have any questions about that?
Somebody's typing furiously.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's what Gwen and I thought too, is when we've emailed a document, the PowerPoint from yesterday and everything too, Gina and Leslie will write on it and everything too. I think it's a little easier than submitting it on a submitted document page.
It is, and I think in part the issue with the submitted document work form is because our website is still pretty new. I mean, we just migrated back in March to this newer website. So I think in the future that'll probably go easier, but for now, I mean, I think email is probably going to be the way to go. So.
Okay.
I would agree with that.
Leslie, did you have anything else to add here?
No, I don't think so. I guess just that the team pages will be set up once we have teams.
Good call.
Right. Right.
Yeah. They're just kind of there as placeholders for now. So. Okay. Debbie, do you want to talk about the tabs?
Gwen stepped away for a minute, so we can go ahead. What about talking about the subject line, including the name of the state if you're sending an email? Did you want to talk to that?
Right, yeah, I'm sorry. I thought I mentioned that. Yeah, if you do email us, if you choose to email us, which would be splendid, just remember in the subject line to include the name of your state and what the document is. And I'll just paste this in again. And then in the body of the email, if you can just tell us where that kind of needs to go. And the same will be later on when you do set up your teams. We'll kind of ask for the same thing. Once your team has a name, just put in the subject line the state and the team's name, and then in the body of the email where it needs to go. Okay?
Here. So I just wanted to ask, when our teams do get in place, will we allow them to directly email you guys? This is a Katie question, and this is an Ashley question, and it's a Leslie question and a Gina question. I'm just thinking about, we're going to have, you know, a lot of teams, and I'm just wondering if we need to kind of control that or just let them. What do you guys think? I think this could be a huge issue. We're going to have, you know, 8 teams to 5 in Illinois, and you know, some configuration of that in each of our partner states. And that could be a lot of people potentially sending you email.
Should those be vetted through the states? To the state leaders?
To the state coordinators?
Yeah.
I don't want to coordinate. I got to think.
I was going to say, I think that's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of work for you guys to upload all of them. I guess we could hope that the submit a document feature is working. I guess that they won't really have that many concerns about where their documents are going on the page. It's just going to be on their team page. So I guess if the submit a document link is working, I think that would be the easiest way to go.
Gina, please chime in on this conversation. What do you think? Because
Sure.
we already know that the submit a document the functionality is not as crystal clear as it should be.
Right, and Leslie, stop me if I get too deep into this, okay? I want to show you our email. because I think you guys know that we use Gmail. That's why we wanted to set up the ILEAD USA at illinoisheartland.org account, which is where these emails would go to. And the reason why we wanted to set up this email is because we can easily set up filters to kind of keep the states organized.
Okay.
So if you see in our email, we have some labels over here for the ILEAD USA overview page.
For each state.
Illinois, Iowa, Ohio.
All
And what I
righty.
was kind of envisioning is that we could split it off into teams as well. So as long as they can put that subject line with the state name and the team name, it'll really help us keep them separate if they do want to just keep emailing us.
You girls are sharp. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, that's good because, like you said, you know, you get a lot of emails, but with this specific one, you can see directly where it came from and everything, too. And by the way, Gwen and I are going to try experimenting next time with 2 cameras so you can see both of us.
Perfect.
We have to sit close together.
And Leslie, I know we haven't talked about that, but
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's what I envisioned. So
okay.
we're on the same page.
That's a comfortable solution. If we can we'll get our teams trained so that they can, you know, include their team name, their state. I think that'll help
Yeah, I
everybody.
think that's going to be the big thing, is just as long as everybody is on the same page as far as how to send those emails and what to put in the subject line, so we're not just getting random, I don't know, messages that we can't figure out what they are just from looking at the subject line. I think we'll be fine.
Okay, this will be very important for us to work strongly with our mentors, because our mentors can really help give them that message, pound it into their heads that this is important for uploading their documents.
And Ashley, if I could clarify your question for a moment. Gwen and I are at the Illinois State Library in Springfield. There's 3 systems within Illinois: Chicago Public Library System, Rails, which is reaching across Illinois libraries, and IHLS, Illinois Heartland Library System. And Gina and Leslie both work for the Illinois Heartland Library System, and you're both in Edwardsville, is that correct?
Right.
Correct.
And they're part of their job responsibilities are working on the WebJunction project, of which ILEAD is being hosted at. Does that answer your question, Ashley? Okay. And Leslie, you're awfully dark. I know you have windows behind you.
I'm a little bit backlit. I can try to switch. Hang on, let me try to move my computer to the other side of the table. Gonna move with me.
There you go. That's much better. Yes. I can see your smiling face.
You looked ghosty.
I turned on the light because I thought that when I first came in, but okay, there we go.
It's still backlit a little, but
That, unfortunately, there's not. I can't. There's too many windows.
Okay. Okay.
fortunate to have windows.
That's true. It's a good thing.
Okay. And Ashley said that helped a little bit of the coordination of, or the hierarchy of where Gina and Leslie are.
Right, and I mean, we both work full-time on WebJunction, Illinois, so we are very dedicated to the state pages and getting the content up there.
Okay, so we've gone to how to submit documents to your page. And Ashley and Katie, do you have any other questions?
Nope.
Okay. Gina, you wanted us to address the tabs, or do you want to go ahead and do that?
No, I can show you.
Go ahead, you go ahead.
Yeah.
She had asked me before if we wanted to.
Oh, no.
Okay. Go ahead,
I'm
Gina.
trying to be inclusive. Okay.
Okay.
Did you hear me? No.
Okay, so on the ILEAD USA Ohio pages and all the state pages for right now, you have, in essence, 3 tabs set up right now. You have the Documents tab, the News, and the Discussions. The Documents tab, I think, is pretty self-explanatory. That's where your documents are going to be kind of archived. So when the applications get ready to come down, I think the plan is to archive them in there. Any additional documents that you may need can also be housed in there. The news pill, well, the news tab, this is always so hard to explain. Leslie, do you want to explain the news?
I would say the news tab is just like little informational bits, I guess. So like whenever we get a press release from the State Library about ILEAD USA, we also have a news tab on the overview page. So that's where we try to post it. Or any information that we would be giving, I guess, to all the states at once. We would put in that news tab. So it's not really a document. It's meant to be something that's a little bit shorter than that, and also something, I guess, that is kind of something that you might need to know right away. And things that show up under the news tab also show up at the bottom of the page under most recently added. And they have a date stamp and all that kind of stuff. So that's something that I think will come once we really get going and we have teams. That's something that we mean when we say in the body of emails, if you can tell us where it would go. Because you might send us a Word doc that you meant to be a news piece, but we wouldn't know that unless you told us. So I think that's something that will probably become more clear just as we get going, sort of where different pieces of information should go. And that's something that we can always help you with too, just for uniformity. It's hard to explain what a news piece is, but if I saw 2 paragraphs of information, I would know, hey, this should probably be a news piece, not a document. So that's something we can always help you with too. If you feel scared about knowing where to post things, we can kind of facilitate that a little bit as well.
Okay.
And just to show you, on the ILEAD USA overview page, we do have that news blurb right down here on the most recently added. I don't think any of the state pages have anything posted right now. Okay.
No.
We do have something on the news page.
You do?
Yep.
Oh, I just need to scroll down.
Oh yeah, the Ohio team members need it as a news piece.
We have a press release I sent out, Katie and Ashley, to you this morning, coordinated by the communications officer here at the State Library. Gina, if you can go back to the overview of ILEAD USA, to the news, there's to the news tab. Yeah, I'm going to send you another one that I sent to Katie and Ashley today to customize to put out to their individual states.
Oh, okay.
So I think that should be there, and then it'll show a chronological listing of what we're doing for publicity and everything too, right?
It should.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. I have another question too, since we're here on this page with the National Day of Application right here. I sent in the request to the person at the Illinois State Library to have the archive link, and I haven't gotten that yet. Is it possible for you to give us the archive link from the webinar yesterday, or should we go through the State Library channels to get that posted here?
If you can let me know
when I did it.
Well, I think I just need the link, and I should probably be able to pull that up for you.
Okay. The chat history is sent directly to the person here at the State Library, so we'll have to wait for her to give that to us.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Just a little bit of clarification there.
So I'm not really clear on it though.
If I give you guys the link to the Adobe Room from yesterday, you can go ahead and give me the archive from it, correct?
I think so. Yeah. I've not downloaded an archive before, but I do have access to all the Adobe Connect rooms.
It's not a bad lag, but you know, I wanted to see if that was a different way to do it. Let me have a conversation with Gwen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, our contact person here at the State Library is out for an illness, and so getting the archive would be wonderful. I don't know how we can get the chat history because it's emailed directly to them, to her.
Right. Let me see what I can do.
Okay.
Because if they didn't clear the...
I'll have a private email with you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, where were we?
I wanted to ask, so where were we put?
Yeah, you were talking about tabs. We just finished news.
Okay. Sorry, I thought I heard a question out there. And right now we also still have the discussions tab up.
Because it really should be under the National Day of Application tab. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's where it should go. But did we tell them that?
And this is where you guys can post your discussion threads. And I think you guys know that in order to post, this is when you have to sign into the website. So this is where that having an account with the website itself comes in handy. Okay?
In the just to reiterate.
I have a question about that.
Go ahead.
My question about the accounts is, that's the only thing that they need the accounts for, is that correct?
Yes.
Otherwise they can see everything else, they can get to everything else, they just need the accounts to post to the discussion forums.
That is correct.
Right. The only other thing they'll need that account for is so that they can join one of the team pages once the teams are set up. Because we have set those up like group pages, and you can actually join them. So.
Okay. And will the state coordinators then be able to join all the team pages so that they can get access to those?
Yes. As far as I know, yes. You'll still be able to see everything because nothing on WebJunction Illinois is private anymore. So everything is out in the open.
Do you have
and I would really stress that to your participants.
Do you have to get permission to view the team pages? Just have an account?
No.
You just have to have an account just to join the group so that you can, your name will be listed there, I guess, right, Gina?
Right.
Let's see, does that answer all your questions?
I think so.
Okay.
For now.
Okay.
So Leslie and Gina, every team member will need to have an account with WJIL, correct?
That is correct. If they want to post to discussion forums and join a team page, yes.
And I just want to stress the difference. They'll need an account with the website. They won't be requesting course access. Okay.
Okay, and they establish an account by doing what? How do they do that?
If you scroll up to the very top of the pages, you'll see these two things above the search box, the sign in and create an account. They'll just click on create an account.
Okay.
And it's like a one-page form. So.
Okay.
And one more, do they need to have an account to submit a document?
No.
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 So Gina and Leslie, will you be confused if they go through the submit a document tab as opposed to the email account to try to get you documents? Will that be a source of confusion for you?
I mean, I think the email would be easier, but if they do go the submit a document route, it'll still show what state library they're with or who they're with, I think.
Okay.
Is that right, Leslie?
Yes. I mean, either way is fine. It's just that we've had a few problems with the submit a document link. I think those will probably improve. And once we have the teams in place, we would prefer the email just because then we avoid some of those problems. But if they submit the document, we still receive it and it still has their state name on it. it does sometimes take a little bit longer when they use the submit a document link because then it has to go through the process to get to us. But I mean, it won't be too confusing either way because we basically, when they submit a document, we still get an email that says what state it was from, as long as they fill out the form.
I just want us to be able, because I know that in the past, this has always been a huge issue with our teams, how to upload documents. And so the clearer we are from the onset, I think the easier it will be for our teams overall. So I just want to make sure that I'm clear on it, that our state coordinators are clear on it, and we can then coach our mentors to help us coach the teams on the process.
I think all the mentors need to review the tutorial on WebJunction too.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
We were just saying, Gina and Leslie, that we've talked a little bit about having a session like this recorded for the team. Well, Ashley and Katie too. A session on WebJunction recorded where Gina and Leslie go through all of this, that each team member or each team has to go ahead, view the WebJunction pre-conference webinar. And we were saying the mentors probably need to do that too, maybe the instructors if they've not done it before.
We can get everybody to do it.
Yeah.
It's not an issue.
Well, I think that'll be a good place to go really in depth. I think if we do sort of like a little tutorial archived webinar, we can show how to create an account, how to submit a document, and we can sort of lay those steps out. And since it'll be archived instead of being a conversation, it'll be more like a tutorial, which I think will be helpful.
That'll be good. That'll be good.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Let's see here. So where are we at in our agenda now?
We're still on tabs, under 3.
Yeah, we're still on tabs. The only last thing that I wanted to mention about tabs is that once the teams do get up and going, we will have a tab in place, and actually maybe before if we get the training webinar up for webinars or videos. We just haven't quite decided what the name of that tab is going to be, but there'll be another tab set up.
It would have a tab for videos, or would this go on the overview page?
I'm thinking each state would have it so that they can have their own tutorials and the videos from their sessions.
What about the webinar we did yesterday? That would go on the overview page? The national.
Actually, I'm thinking about putting that on each state page just to get your state partners familiar with their state pages and kind of going there for the information that they need.
Okay, I thought we were going to stick it under the national application.
We can also add it to that news blurb that's on the front page, but as far as a tab for videos, I think we'd like to keep that only on the state pages.
Okay, that's fine.
Is that correct, Gina?
Because our goal with this overview page is to kind of keep it very clean.
Okay.
We have like the national steering, the meeting minutes up here, and your news. So I think that might just be easier to help keep that overview page clean, and then get the...
If you scroll down a little bit on this overview page where we have the National Day of Application down there at the bottom, keep going. Right there. You'll put the link to the archive from tomorrow or from yesterday right there.
No, I think we're going to just embed it in this document.
We're going to embed it.
Okay.
That's good.
All right.
That's smart.
So it would be, you'd have to click on the news piece and then the link will be there.
Okay.
That's really the only way functionality for us to add it onto that page at this point.
Okay.
Right.
Sounds good.
And that's also where we put the webinar slides from yesterday. So those are already there.
All righty. That's good. That's great. There's something else that's bugging me about this. The discussions, videos. So what are we going to use the discussion tab for? I wonder if I might...
With what little I know about the ILEAD project from previous years, I was thinking the discussion tabs would probably most benefit your team pages once they're up and going. So they have a sort of forum to talk amongst themselves.
Oh.
But if they find that they don't need the tab, we can always take it down.
So I'm a member of a team from Ohio, and I have a question for the rest of my team members who are spread out across the state. I would go into the discussion forum for Ohio for my team and say, what do you think about the logo we designed or the website or something like that? Is that correct?
Sure. Yeah, and then they can respond. It's just a way to facilitate communication among your team members. And also, I think Katie, because she's already posted a couple discussion threads here on her state page, she's using it on her state page in a really good way just to get information out to people who are applying. So a person who's applying can ask her a question in the discussion forum, and then she can respond. And Katie, you can correct me if I'm saying things that aren't true, but that's what it looks
that's absolutely what I intended. Unfortunately, as you can see, I've gotten no replies on that, but it's okay.
But I think once we have teams, the discussion will get facilitated much better. But when you first start those discussion threads, it's sort of disappointing because no one replies for a while.
Yes.
So Katie, you asked a question about using Jing or Camtasia as opposed to a full recorded webinar. I need you to explain to me the pluses and minuses of this.
I think it's really, I mean, we're really telling the teams that they just need to email the documents. It seems fairly simple, and so maybe just walking them through that using Jing, you know, a quick 1-2 minute tutorial that they could watch real quickly would be easier than setting up a full webinar and recording it and doing all of this to just kind of tell them to email the documents. It seems like it would be a little easier on your end, and then a little quicker for the teams to get that knowledge.
Okay.
And Gina and I have already discussed that a little bit yesterday, actually, since we just talked about it yesterday with Gwen and Deb. But we do have Articulate Storyline, and we have some other tools that we may use for the tutorial. We just sort of came up with the idea, so we're kind of referring it to it as an archived webinar, but it may be as simple as a tutorial that you just kind of click through.
Katie, just to give you a little background information here, it is important that we have pieces of this program that appear to be replicated throughout, so that there's a thread that connects all 5 partner states, and this would be one of those pieces.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so this is why we would, so I'm hoping that that it is something that's going to be worthwhile and meaningful, and that it might take 5 or 6 minutes out of their day for them to view, and it's just going to be one of those pieces that says, hey, we've been here, we've done this, and it's a shared experience for all of our team members. So trying to just stay true to the grant as much as we possibly can. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. No, I was definitely saying that it should be something done that everybody views and all of that, but just maybe, yeah. Simple is normally.
Yeah, I agree. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, so I'm glad that you told me, Leslie and Gina, how you guys are envisioning the use of...
and I'm sure we'll talk about it with you guys more, too. It's still kind of just an idea so far.
In the past, we also had a place where the teams could actually throw up questions for their instructors. And I don't know if we're going to do that or not, but I'm just thinking about things that we had in the past that, if pushed, really should make a difference for our iLeaders. So I do believe these are discussions that we will have to have. And a lot of times what happens when we're in group, a lot of times these things will come up, and it will come from the floor of our participants. They'll be like, hey, we need a way to talk to our instructors or throw questions at them. And so then we have to David will remind the instructors to make sure that they keep checking these pages so that in the case that a question has been fielded, that it's going to be answered in a timely way. So again, our this site it's a site that's morphing. So and it will morph even more.
Hopefully it comes out as a butterfly.
Are you guys ready?
I am. I was looking at Ashley's question that just came in.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Good question.
Good question. No, I've not experimented with this. I do know we have the subscribe to topic, but let me experiment and I'll get back to you. So if you can leave your email address with us, and maybe I can include that in there.
I tried it right when you guys created the page, and the subscribe to topic was giving me a 404 error as well. And again, that was probably the new WebJunction and new pages and everything else. But and I haven't tried it since then, but it was giving an error.
Right, and we may not have activated that feature on the pages either. So even though you see it, we may just need to go into CQ and activate it. So.
I have another question too. In doing the webinar yesterday, some people who are potential participants wanted to know what some of the previous projects were. Is there a way to put that on maybe the overview page to link the old 1 and 2 project overview page from cohort 1 and 2 to the overview page?
I think what I need to do, my question, I think I sent it to you, Gina and Leslie. I'm trying to think how we did this. But anyway, Matt answered the question. Matt McLean answered the question. He had a really nice synopsis of the projects. And so what we need to do, we need to, I guess, email the person that asked the question during the chat the response to that that question, because it was a very good question that we received yesterday. Could they have a quick synopsis of previous programs? I'm not quite sure. I don't know if it needs to be on our ILEAD USA pages at this point. I don't know.
What do you think, Katie and Ashley?
I actually have a list of the projects that were submitted that were in our binders from last year. It's already uploaded on our ILEAD USA Ohio pages, because that has been a project or a question that we've been getting. What kind of projects are you guys looking for? So that's up on our documents tab.
Can you go to that, Gina? Under her documents
Sure.
tab?
When we
It's the 2011 ILEAD project proposals. So it's actually it looks like what was submitted in their applications. So it talks a little bit about their community need and what they anticipate their project to be. And I thought that would be a good example for the people who are looking to apply to kind of see what we were looking for as far as a community need and what kind of projects people had done in the past.
I think it's all good. I just told Debbie that what I have found is that oftentimes when you give people a lot of information like this, although it gives them a direction, it also stifles creativity. And that's why I was like, so what happens, people get stuck in a rut. And they see these projects and they think, oh, this is what I can do, and so that's how come I'm like, right now, you've got it up there. If they dig around, they'll find it. But I got to think about whether or not I want to put it up on our page.
But at the least, we'll email the person who inquired yesterday during the webinar, Matt's synopsis of it and everything.
I get that. I think that that's going to really be a question then for the application review committee. So if they're looking through these and they say that, oh, this is a project that was directly taken from something that was done in 2011, maybe that gets rated a little lower if we get a lot of applications. I'm a little worried at this point that we're not going to have a whole lot of applications. So we'll see where we are as far as the creativity level and how that gets evaluated once we actually get applications.
I'm just in the past, I'm just thinking the last 2 years when we did it, we really, I don't think we really gave them a big heads up. I don't think we gave them a big heads up. So that forced them to really go at it and think about it and take a look at this thing with fresh vision. So we'll see. But I also know that sometimes folks need hand-holding. So I understand exactly why you did what you did, Katie. So it's all good. It's all good. It's your program. I'm done. I'm done, Leslie. I'm done, Gina.
You're fine. And I think part B of the tabs was talking about potential tab uses. Deb and Gwen, is that something that you kind of want to talk about with the state partners?
We were talking about uniformity and just making sure that we keep our pages nice and clean and clear. And I really believe under this new iteration of WebJunction Illinois, they've placed some controls in, they've put controls in place so that we can keep things clean and clear. But I just want to make sure that as we're going and as we're expanding these pages that there is uniformity between the pages, and even in terms of the tabs and how we use the tabs. I just want to make sure we kind of keep a good clean thread going throughout this entire process. I think it's going to be important also for the purposes of our evaluator, and I think it's also going to be important for other folks that come in and look to see what we've done and to see if this really is something that can be repeated again. So that's what I'm really urging, and I don't think it's going to be really hard for us to meet that mark. I think we'll be able to do that as long as people don't want things too wild and too sexy. I think we'll be okay.
Sexy tab.
Yeah. What do you think, Katie and Ashley?
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds great.
All righty. And you already, Gina, you already explained that we're going to put the applications under the Documents tab, so that's okay.
Great.
That's good. And then Debbie explained yesterday we were talking and we came up with the idea of Leslie and Gina doing a presentation that would be archived so that all of our team members can take a look at it, and so that's already been discussed too. Did you guys find this useful? Ashley and Katie, did you guys find it useful?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So hopefully people will take it. We'll look at this, and we may have to do it again for our other 3 partners that didn't get to take advantage of this. But I think it's important that we have as many of these preliminary discussions as possible. That way.
While we have you guys on the phone, real quick, Ashley had an idea. We're doing there's an event that's being held the 13th and 14th in November, and David Lankes is actually going to be talking, and I thought it would be good, since he's going to be there talking, if Ashley had suggested that we have a booth with some flyers and things like that. And I wondered if we had a decision on the logo yet, because I was going to make up some new flyers for that event and wanted to use the new logo.
Yeah, I've got the final preliminaries for logo, and that's on my desk to do this morning. We've kind of had direction from the administration staff here at the State Library that we're going to go with the logo that has the outline of the United States and not customize it further to have the individual states outlined in that logo. So I think we have the ILEAD USA logo. It's just the color determination that'll have to be decided on, Katie and Ashley. And hopefully,
okay,
I've got the doodle poll ready to go, and you'll probably get that today. So we're here Monday. We're off Tuesday for Election Day, so you should be able to have it by the 11th and 14th.
Okay, that sounds great. Then I will hold off on working on that until we get the logo.
Hey, you're doing a good job with your page.
Thanks.
Well, and that's one of Gwen's and our job is to go in here and look every day, because we don't get notification when you've posted something. So, you know, we're kind of going in every day and making sure all the states are on track. Is that correct?
The truth is, Debbie's going in.
Well, we're doing a lot of stuff. We're doing a lot of stuff every day. So if that's my help to do, you know, we'll try to do that. Katie and Ashley, do you have any other questions for Gina and Leslie, or Leslie and Gina, do you have any comments?
Well, I was responding to Ashley's question there on the bottom. She asked, if she could contact us further if she had any questions.
That would be fine.
Yeah.
Just, CC us so we can stay in the loop. Do I need to type, or can she hear me? Okay. Thank you, Ashley.
She can hear you.
Yeah, because Gwen and I like to know, even Gwen and I live on different floors at the State Library. We're not next to each other. And just like she said, our contact person here at the State Library for WebJunction is out for an illness for the next couple of days. Well, I didn't know that. She just found that out this morning. That's going to make a difference to getting the archive from the webinar yesterday up and everything, because we've had people ask for it already and everything too. And, I mean, we try to keep each other, we see each other every day. We're making a point to see each other every day, once or twice, and keep up. So if you guys can keep us in the loop with CC, I too have a lot of those different tabs that I'm putting all the different emails in and stuff too. So trying to keep it all straight. Let me ask you, Katie and Ashley, have you had a lot of people want to form a team? The individuals apply?
I've gotten a couple of emails. I have one name in our Google Doc, and then we only had one person attend the webinar yesterday, which is why I'm a little nervous about the applications, but it's still early. When we did, we do a program called Library Leadership Ohio, and I had hardly any questions. A week before the applications were due, I had 20 applications, and then by the time the applications were due, I had 104. So I don't know what's going on. It may be the same thing. We're just going to have to wait and see.
Well, Gwen and I did talk yesterday briefly too. If you want to do another webinar, or we can do one specifically for Ohio participants and everything too, or do you think it would be helpful to do another one of those webinars like we did for all the applications through the 5 states?
I did, the last week of October, I did a series of webinars on so you want to be a mentor, so you want to be an instructor, so you want to be a team member. I offered 2 a day, and I had fairly low attendance on those, but I also recorded those. So those are posted on our website, and I'm considering offering those again at the end of November, depending on if we get more questions and things like that through the beginning of the month. I'll probably offer those again. If we do that, I will probably spend a little more time walking through the application at the end of November during those webinars. So I can take care of that here for Ohio. I think while it was great to do a national day of application, and I think that was excellent, being able to walk through it on a local level is also advantageous. So I'll probably do that again, but I'm also going to be directing people to the archived webinar of the National Day of Application.
Okay, you're smart. And I think we're going to do that in Illinois, do an individual one for Illinois, and see if we can get some more people. For the team forming, I just got another one this morning. I think we're up to 7 people in Illinois who have contacted me, because I'm the person that gets those applications to form a team. So it went out. We have a State Library newsletter that goes out on Friday mornings. And the top lead article today, and we hopefully top lead article until December, will always be about ILEAD USA.
Katie, I appreciate your comments. I can tell that you've really thought about ILEAD USA and how you guys can position your state to get the most advantage out of this program. I can tell that you.
I have to say, I love this program, so.
I appreciate how you're thinking about it and going about it. So.
It takes everybody 10 to 12 times before they hear something.
I know, and that's why we're hoping to get out to it's called Widen the Lens next week, and we're sending out all kinds of emails to all of our lists and the blogs and everything else. So hopefully we'll get through to people. It's called Widen the Lens. They're actually bringing in some people from outside libraries to talk to librarians, about getting out in their community and marketing and all of that kind of stuff. It's going to be really interesting.
Great.
Okay, I think we've used enough of Gina and Leslie's time. And your time, Ashley and Katie.
Great, thank you so much for this. It was very helpful.
I guess it's time to say.
All right.
See you guys soon.
Bye, you too.
Okay.
Thank you, Gina and Leslie.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks, Katie. Thanks, Ashley, too.
They're going to record it, right? They've recorded it.
And you'll send us the link, right? Or you'll post this link on the website?
Oh, we lost Gina's camera. Yes, we will. We're always in constant contact with you. You know that.